and then you have to keep adjusting your price because caramel is really expensive.
The chill of October air carries the smell of pumpkins, dry leaves, and wood smoke. For generations of American families, one memory stands out: the sticky shine of a caramel apple clutched in a child's hand. What feels like a homemade treat from a neighbor's kitchen is now produced in factories by the millions. How does a simple apple, once sold by local vendors, become a glossy icon of Halloween across America? Caramel apples trace their roots to the early 20th century, when candy makers looked for creative ways to use leftover caramel. According to local histories, a New Jersey candy maker in the 1950s popularized dipping apples on wooden sticks into hot caramel as a seasonal treat.
Kraft caramels and dip, dip. Kraft caramel apples.
Apples were plentiful in the fall, and the pairing with caramel quickly became a tradition at county fairs and harvest festivals. By the 1960s and 70s, the image of children biting into caramel apples was woven into Halloween culture. What began as thrift and improvisation soon became a symbol of autumn itself. Every September in Washington state, apple orchards burst into action. Farmers load crates of fruit onto trucks, the air filled with the sharp scent of harvest. Engines rumble as the trucks pull away, carrying tons of freshly picked apples straight from the fields toward the factory gates. Industrial washers then begin their work. The apples tumble into rotating drums filled with chlorinated water, a precise blend designed to strip away dirt, pesticides, and natural wax. Powerful sprays rinse every surface, while soft brushes scrub gently so the skins stay intact. Each apple is inspected for bruises, because even a small blemish could cause caramel to slide off unevenly. High-pressure air then dries the fruit so caramel will adhere properly. Workers insert sturdy wooden sticks into the center of each apple. What once took a careful hand at a fairground stall now happens at a speed of more than 200 apples per minute on automated lines. Caramel is the heart of this tradition. Inside steel kettles larger than a car, sugar, butter, and corn syrup blend together. Steam-jacketed walls heat the mix to around 240 degrees Fahrenheit. The stage candy makers call softball. The liquid bubbles thick and golden, releasing a sweet aroma across the factory floor. Automated stirrers keep the mixture from burning, something home cooks once did with wooden spoons. Tanks hold hundreds of gallons at a time, enough to coat thousands of apples in one batch. The molten caramel flows through insulated pipes toward the dipping stations before it hardens. Apples travel along a conveyor where robotic arms lower them into heated caramel basins. Each rotation covers the fruit in a thick amber coat that hardens as it cools. In older days, children watched parents swirl apples by hand. Now machines dip and rotate at 150 pieces every minute. Did you ever bite into a caramel apple as a kid, sticky fingers and all? Share your memory in the comments. Before the caramel hardens completely, the apples roll through stations that shower them with toppings. Crushed peanuts, sprinkles, chocolate drizzle, or cookie crumbs stick firmly to the warm surface. Mechanical rollers ensure an even coat on every side. Factories often customize toppings for seasonal themes, turning each apple into a miniature canvas of fall colors. Some lines even dip apples a second time, layering milk chocolate over caramel. The variety mirrors the creativity once found at community carnivals, but at an industrial scale. A single shift can decorate more than 50,000 apples, each one slightly unique. Once coated and cooled, the apples are wrapped in clear plastic to keep their shine. Machines twist-tie the wrappers around the wooden stick, sealing freshness inside. Within days, a product once sold at small-town fairs arrives in suburban grocery aisles, ready for trick-or-treat baskets or late-night cravings. If caramel apples remind us of autumn fairs, the next treat takes us straight to winter nights by the fire. A cold night. Gloves dropped by the door. A mug of hot chocolate warms frozen hands. For generations, this simple drink has carried the taste of winter in America. But how does a tradition once made slowly on the stove turn into millions of instant packets from modern factories? Hot chocolate did not begin in snowy towns. Centuries ago, the Maya and Aztec brewed cacao as a strong, bitter drink, flavored with spices instead of sugar. Spanish ships carried it to Europe, where milk and honey softened its bite. By the 18th century, chocolate houses in London and Paris turned it into a fashionable indulgence. Colonists in America embraced their own version, making it part of winter gatherings. The 20th century changed everything. Industrial grinders created cheap cocoa powder, and soldiers carried instant mixes in wartime rations. From then on, hot chocolate belonged to everyday life. In Central America and West Africa, pods cling to trees like lanterns. When split open, they reveal rows of beans coated in sticky pulp. Farmers ferment them in wooden boxes covered with leaves. Heat builds naturally, and in less than a week, the pale seeds turn brown with a rich aroma. Spread out under the sun, the beans dry until their moisture drops from 60% to under 8%. Packed into burlap sacks, they are hauled to ports, ready to sail thousands of miles toward factories in North America and Europe. The roasting floor smells like winter itself. Drums the size of small cars spin slowly, heating the beans until the shells crack. Temperatures hover near 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and the sound of splitting shells echoes across the hall. Air currents sweep husks away, leaving nibs, the dense hearts of cacao. Grinders crush them into a thick liquid known as chocolate liquor. Hydraulic presses then squeeze the liquor, separating smooth cocoa butter from dry cocoa solids. From tons of beans, factories now hold two key ingredients, ready to be blended into the powders that define modern hot chocolate. Ribbon blenders the size of swimming pools tumble cocoa powder with sugar and dried milk. Technicians scoop samples, checking density and particle size. Adjustments are made instantly, guided by computer screens and years of practice. Seasonal flavors add character: peppermint for holidays, cinnamon for fall. Some blends even include tiny marshmallows sealed inside the packet. When you drink hot chocolate, do you prefer it plain or topped with marshmallows? Comment your answer below. But if hot chocolate brings unity and warmth, the next Halloween candy does the opposite. Halloween bags overflow with candy, but one sweet always stands out. Black, shiny, and coiled like ropes, licorice is impossible to miss. For some kids, it was the first thing they traded away. For others, it was the prize they secretly hoped for. Few candies split opinions so sharply. Loved by grandparents, rejected by children, black licorice remains a symbol of taste you either crave or avoid. Yet behind its unusual flavor lies a precise factory process. How does a root once used in medicine become the dark candy that divides trick-or-treaters every October? Licorice has ancient roots. Egyptians chewed the plant for soothing throats, while Romans believed it eased thirst during long marches. In Europe, extracts from licorice root became common in medicine and sweets. The candy crossed into America in the 19th century, brought by immigrants who carried recipes for chewy ropes and pastilles. By the early 20th century, black licorice lined shelves in apothecaries and candy stores alike. Its bittersweet flavor became a cultural divider, beloved by some, disliked by many. Halloween cemented its place, turning it into one of the season's most recognizable, if controversial, treats. Every batch begins not with sugar, but with extract. Licorice root is ground, boiled, and reduced into a thick syrup. Factories mix it with starches, molasses, and sweeteners in giant kettles. Steam coils around the tanks as paddles churn the dark liquid. The mixture thickens into a glossy paste, heavy enough to coat metal blades. Once it reaches the right density, it's pumped toward extrusion lines. This stage sets the flavor's intensity. Too little extract, and the licorice tastes bland. Too much, and the bitterness overpowers everything else. Balance defines whether the final candy will delight or repel. The paste enters extruders, machines that push it through steel, dies shaped like ropes or tubes. Pressure forces the hot mixture into long cords that snake out onto cooling belts. The room fills with the sharp scent of anise, a flavor often added to strengthen the licorice profile. Workers watch for consistency, ensuring the strands don't break or flatten. Conveyors stretch for dozens of feet, carrying ropes that harden as air cools them. In minutes, the soft paste becomes chewy strands ready to be cut. The transformation feels almost mechanical magic, turning syrup into solid form. Rotating blades chop the ropes into exact lengths. Some are trimmed into short bites. Others remain long twists. Forming rollers press grooves or spirals into the surface, giving licorice its signature ridges. Patterns aren't decoration alone. They help the candy dry evenly and hold shape in packaging. A single machine can cut and form thousands of pieces per minute. At this stage, black licorice looks almost identical to what ends up in Halloween bags, though still warm to the touch. Do you actually enjoy black licorice, or do you trade it away every Halloween? Let us know in the comments. Fresh licorice is too sticky to package. Strands move through drying tunnels where warm air circulates for hours. Moisture drops until the texture turns firm yet chewy. Once dried, the candy enters polishing drums, rotating barrels that tumble the pieces with edible wax or oil. The coating gives each rope a glossy, jet-black shine. The sound of tumbling pieces echoes across the factory floor. When the drums stop, thousands of candies gleam as if painted. This sheen is what makes licorice so striking in a pile of Halloween treats. Final products pour into hoppers that feed packaging lines. Flow wrappers seal individual bites, while longer ropes slide into plastic sleeves. Machines print seasonal graphics, pumpkins, bats, or haunted houses on bright orange labels. Each bag is weighed to the gram before sealing. Cartons stack onto pallets, ready for shipment. Within days, they roll into supermarkets, waiting to divide another generation of candy lovers. Whether cherished or rejected, black licorice remains a staple of Halloween night. From glossy caramel apples at autumn fairs, to mugs of hot chocolate on snowy nights, to the bold taste of black licorice on Halloween, each treat carries more than sugar. They hold memories of childhood, of family, of seasons that return year after year. Factories may run at blinding speed, yet behind the machines lie traditions passed down for generations. What once simmered in kitchens or boiled in copper pots now moves through stainless steel drums and conveyor belts, feeding the same cravings in new ways. Every product we think we know hides a longer journey, and each bite reminds us that nostalgia is built not just in homes, but also on factory floors. Do you want to uncover more hidden stories inside the foods and drinks we take for granted? Subscribe to Captain Discovery now, so you never miss the next journey behind the factory doors.